ESPNNewYork.com with Seth Everett is on.
Spiller camps onto it. Fields right hash at the 12. 15 middle of the field. 20. Cuts left. 30. Near side. 35. 40. 45. 50. Gets by, man. There he goes.
See ya, boys.
30. 20. 10. 5. CJ Spiller has done it yet again.
10:13 on 1050 ESPN New York. It's ESPNNewYork.com. Seth Everett with you until Colin Cowherd comes up at 11. Why are we playing the Pointer Sisters? We'll answer that question during the course of this interview. I want to take no time and welcome in former Clemson running back. I got to get used to saying former Clemson running back, and we're anticipating he will be a first-round pick this Thursday in the 2010 NFL Draft. It's CJ Spiller. CJ, good to see you, man.
Good to see you as well.
You know, a lot of these interviews that you do, you're on the phone. You don't ever get to see. After coming into the Palatial 1050 studios, do you prefer the phone?
No, I like seeing you in person.
Okay, you prefer that. Because if you so, we would have you go in the other room. You could call in the show.
Oh, nah, let's do it right here in person.
All-purpose back. That's what everybody says about you. Define it in your words.
I'm a running back. I just been happen to be able to do other things like return and catch the ball out the backfield. But, you know, my main priority is being a running back, and that's something that I've done my whole life. But like I said, I've just been gifted enough to do other things to add to my game.
And for the record, to the folks listening, the New York Giants are very high on this guy, so there's a chance this is the first of a regular appearance on ESPNNewYork.com, which I'll tell you this, it's really nice of you to make that overture before you even get drafted. It's very nice of you. First player in college football history to total 3,000 yards rushing, 2,000 yards in kickoff returns, 1,000 yards receiving, and 500 yards in punt returns. When you say you can do everything, you really can.
Yeah, I try to do my best to help the team win. Whatever I can do to help them win, that's what I'm willing to do.
Now, what was it like the first 3 years when James Davis was your teammate?
Oh, it was awesome. I knew he was going to be a great teammate when I went on my visit. He had the opportunity to go home during, I think, Memorial Weekend, and he stayed there and hosted me. And I knew that he was going to be a great teammate there. And once I got there, he taught me the offense. You know, coming out of wing T, it was very different than being in the pro-style offense that they run at Clemson. So, he kind of took me up on his wing and brought me along the way. So, and then it also took a lot of punishment off my body because we was able to switch in and out the game, keep defense guessing. And so, he was a great teammate, and we established a great friendship, and we still talk to this day.
And, of course, James Davis is on the Cleveland Browns right now. We're talking to CJ Spiller, of course, a former Clemson running back right here on 1050 ESPN New York. Now, to say he was a great teammate, I could imagine for your first couple of years, did you think that after 3 of your only 4 years of eligibility, maybe he held you back a little bit? That because you really busted out once he went to the NFL?
Not really. I think it really helped me. It kept me fresh, kept my legs fresh throughout the game, and then also didn't put too much wear and tear on my body for me taking all those licks because we were two different type runners. So, I thought it helped me instead of hurting me.
Tell us a little bit about your visits with all these NFL teams. If you want to get specific, all we care about is the New York Giants. What have they said to you? What kind of overtures have they made?
I really haven't talked to the Giants. The only thing they called, just asked me for my draft day number. And that was it. And but I know they have a great organization. I mean, they just won the Super Bowl a couple years back. So, we'll see how it go come Thursday.
When you look for a team, I mean, you don't get to choose, so it really doesn't matter. But when you look for a team, what are the characteristics of a franchise that you look to as something that you really want to be a part of?
Just guys that want to win Super Bowls. Guys that have the same mindset, same goals, and I'm pretty sure. That won't be a hard adjustment to make them every year. Everyone wants to win the Super Bowl, so that's the main thing, and that's the thing that I want to do when I go to that team, try to help them win those Super Bowls.
Now, obviously, it depends on what team drafts you, but there's a real good chance that when you come in, they're going to have a running back. I would like to think that a team already has a running back going in, which means you're going to have to play in certain down situations, and your ability to block is going to get showcased. Even if your greatest strength is your ability to run the ball, blocking is what's going to keep you in the NFL.
Right. I mean, you got to be able to protect that guy that's throwing the ball. He's the guy that's leading the team. He's the one that's going to make the team go. So you got to be able to sit up there and, be willing to block for him. And, that's what the main thing of blocking come down to, the willingness and just knowing who you have and then, you know, getting out at certain times.
Tell us about being a Subway famous fan. And when we say Subway, we're not talking about the New York City Subway. We're talking about Subway, the restaurant.
Yeah, Subway, the Eat Fresh restaurant.
Yeah.
And, it's great. You know, I was already a fan of Subway before I even became a famous fan. You know, that's where I ate throughout high school. And then when I went to college, that's usually my meals. And but to be a famous fan, you know, it's been awesome. You know, and you know, I'm glad to be on board. And you know, we are just out promoting the pepperoni. You know, it's the new bacon. You know, I get it on all my sandwiches that I get. The meatball Mariana, that's the one that I put the pepperoni on. And you know, we just want people to understand, once you go in there, walk through the door, we'd love you to try the pepperoni, give you extra spice, extra taste to the sandwich. And you know, and also you got great choices, great healthy choices. And you know, it's a great place to go eat. And now we have the breakfast menu, so you can build your own breakfast. It's not where you can go to other restaurants where you have to pre-order things and it's made. You can build it yourself, put it whatever you want, and every choice you make is going to be a healthy one.
I really appreciate you bringing in a couple of sandwiches for the guys here. That's really nice of you to do. They're loving the pepperoni on the other side of the glass, and it's really come out. You're really making a lot of friends here.
Oh yeah, you know, I hope they enjoy it. I hope there's a little spice to them.
Yeah, is that's the way it's going. And the other question about Subway is, and I'm just going to ask this because I'm going to utilize this segment for personal gain, and that is, do you know the Jared?
Yeah, I know. I mean, I don't know him personally. I've seen him on the commercials, and yeah, I've heard a lot about him, but I know who he is.
I need to set up a conversation with Jared.
You need.
There's a rumor going around that he went out with my ex-girlfriend.
I don't have any control under that. I mean, you must was a bad boyfriend. Only thing I can tell you.
Very nice. John Gruden had a long sit down with you on SportsCenter. Or we saw the clips of it. What was it like meeting Coach Gruden?
It was awesome. He taught me so much about the game of football. You know, about what to expect going into the NFL. I mean, he's a great coach. Someone that I can stay in contact with. You know, he taught me a whole lot with that segment that we did.
Yeah, and it seemed like he was going out of his way to understand your game. Now, the two things he wanted to ask you about that I wanted to make sure our listeners, for those of you listening here on 1050, we're talking with former Clemson running back and we think future first-round draft pick, CJ Spiller is with us here in studio, about blocking and how it takes a certain mindset to be a good blocker. What is that mindset?
It just comes down to a willingness. I mean, you know, I'm not the biggest guy in the world, and I know I'm going to face some bigger guys, but you know, that doesn't have nothing to be willing to go block a guy. I mean, you don't have to go out there and try to kill him. You just have to make sure your quarterback has enough time to get rid of the ball so you can keep the offense on the field and your defense off.
Why did he want you to listen to the Pointer Sisters?
I'm not sure. I guess that's one of his favorite groups, and I had never heard of them before. And you know, I'll probably get a lot of grief about that. But you know, he just told me to go check them out and see what it was all about. So I'm gonna go do it.
All right, two quickies before we let you go. CJ Spiller is with us. Was it disappointing to not be a Heisman finalist?
Not at all. You know, the people had voted for who they thought was the best guy in the country, and you know, that didn't determine that. I mean, it didn't shoot down my confidence about me being if I didn't think myself was a great player. You know, but I moved forward. I just started focusing on final exams and focus on my graduation once it came out.
And lastly, it's Thursday night. You're getting closer. You're going to know the team that's going to draft you, and your pro career is going to start. At what point this week do you anticipate the holy geez moment? Oh my God, I can't believe I'm doing all this.
Probably Wednesday night, late Wednesday night. You know, probably when I can't sleep. And but you know, it's exciting for me. You know, it's a new journey. It's something that I'm looking forward to it. And so you know, I'm just taking it one day at a time and just be ready to go.
Well, Giant fans are definitely listening to this, hoping that you come by part of the fold. But wherever you get drafted, we wish you the best of luck, and thank you so much for coming down here.
Oh, thank you for having me on.
CJ Spiller, ladies and gentlemen, and of course, CJ is going to be at Radio City Music Hall. You're going to hear the draft coverage right here on 1050 ESPN New York. It all starts off in prime time Thursday night, and CJ Spiller, of course, will check out and see if he gets drafted by the New York Giants. And of course, try out pepperoni, the great sandwich topping. It's the new bacon. And thanks so much for bringing all the sandwiches. We're really appreciating that.
You're welcome.
Coming up, we'll talk New York Mets with ESPNNewYork.com and 1050 Mets reporter Rich Catino. Zach Parise of the Devils coming up in less than 30 minutes. This is 1050 ESPN New York. I'm Seth Everett.